Is scar massage beneficial for any other kind of surgeries? Let's talk hysterectomy. So any other kind of abdominal surgeries?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Again, in lots of cases, again, not even just C-section massage, we'll see people that have had like laparoscopic surgeries
Mm.
from, say, fibroids or endometriosis.
Right.
And again, even though those scars are very small, like a laparoscopic surgery usually involves, incisions around the belly button and then maybe like one or two like
Right.
down here in the abdomen for those of you who don't know. Um, but again, it's the same thing, like cameras need to go into the area, like instruments need to go into the
Yes.
area. Things are still being pushed around and moved around. So
Right.
absolutely, not just C-section scar, we see it in men. So
Mhm.
men that have had like, say they've had surgeries after a testicle hasn't dropped, for instance, and this is, a surgery from childhood,
Mhm.
we can see things crop up. Hernia surgeries is another big one that we see.
Right.
And again, in many cases, it's like the inguinal hernia. So
Right.
it's kind of right down in the
Yeah.
groin area. Um, any of the above, like
Yeah.
any kind of surgery, definitely we want to make sure that the tissue's healing, the tissue's moving well afterwards.
Right.
So thank you for bringing that up.
And I think that was important that you said the laparoscopic because it's such small, right? Little, oh, yeah, I just had this little surgery, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, that can definitely have effects down the road for sure.
absolutely.
So, can you show us and lead us through what a scar massage will look like?
So what you can, again, first of all, you might just want to start with like a little bit of, again, light touching in that area, back and forth, up and down. You might even just try like a little bit of up and down sensation. You can see I'm really lightly just sinking into my skin right now. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily like pushing,
Right.
okay? I would probably do this lying down because right now being in an upright position, like my abs are on because it needs to help me hold up. So I would definitely do it in a relaxed position. And then what I might try to do is just a little bit of like nudging the tissue almost.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of pushing down onto that scar. If I have an adhesion, and you can kind of see like you can see the skin doesn't quite move as well in this area.
Okay.
Whereas in this area, it kind of sinks in a little bit more. So I'm just kind of paying attention to that as I kind of sink around that scar. And I might just move up and down and just kind of make sure. Often people will only focus on the above section, but we also want to make sure we're getting under that scar as well. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. From there, I could actually try a little bit of circle. So I might sink into that scar
Mm-hmm.
and just try some circles around.
Right.
And again, I'm trying to just get that skin moving. I'm feeling for any of those nodules that you described to
Mm-hmm.
see, again, what does it feel like? And really, before you even do any of this, I'm going to put my face back in the camera for a second. The scar massage should never, ever, ever feel painful. So
Mm-hmm.
you may feel that it pulls a little bit. You may feel that, a little bit squeamish, that it feels weird. And that's all okay, but it should never feel painful.
Right.
Okay. If you're noticing that it's like getting, like it feels like it's going to open, if you're noticing any like red spots in the area, it's getting really irritated, that's too much. And I would back off. Okay. So we did a little bit of touching, we did some circles. Some of the other things, again, I'm going kind of from easiest to more advanced here.
Right.
You could also try a little bit of like hugging the tissue, almost like you're coming through that scar and going through there. You could go vertically up through that scar. You could go across. And again, remember, we want everything to be movable in all different directions. And
Right.
right now, again, if I'm early days, I'm not putting a lot of pressure. If
Mm-hmm.
I was further along and everything on the outside felt like it was moving pretty well, then I may feel a little bit more comfortable to sink in a little bit more. But again, you're going based on your comfort level and
Right.
what things feel like.
So you're 1 year postpartum, right? Or not quite?
I am 13 months
Right. Okay.
postpartum.
So are you spending in that time in that area that you showed us where it's a little bit more challenging to get movement? Are you spending more of your time in that area?
In general, yes.
Right.
Again, though, that's the area that probably needs a little bit more love. In lots of cases, it's the midline area, because in some cases the surgeon will actually cut upwards, and even though you don't see it on the outside,
Right.
sometimes to create a little bit more space, they'll actually do an incision up through the midline.
Okay.
So then there can be some extra stitches in those deeper layers. So again,
Right.
maybe not on my shirt or my jacket,
Right.
but in my undershirt on the inside is where there's been some extra stitching.
Okay.
Sometimes it's off on the sides. So in some cases, it's kind of off, like out towards the hip bone here.
Okay.
And that's where people will feel a little bit more noduly.
Right.
And again, often it's because the surgeon needs to adhere those stitches down.
Right.
When they're doing their surgery.
Right. And is there kind of like how many minutes should a mom be doing this a day, or should they be doing it every day, 3 times a week? Or is there, kind of just like however it feels good to you?
It really depends. It depends again on those goals as well. So as a physio, we're kind of prescribing things depending on someone's goals, depending on, when I'm assessing the tissue, what does the tissue look like? What does the tissue feel like? So again, there's no number, unfortunately. Right. We all wish there was. Right?
I know, right? Got you. Okay. Oh, I forgot to ask, when you are massaging, should you be using oil or anything, just, dry fingers? What should we be using?
Again, depending on what the skin is like, what's going to be most comfortable though is definitely like a lotion, an oil of some sort. Right. Sometimes I'll have people, again, if they're just in the shower washing the rest of their body, spend a little bit of extra time just around that C-section area. If you're moisturizing your body, again, spend a little bit of time. We often don't think about maybe moisturizing our stomach, right, but it's a nice way as we're doing our arms and the rest of our body, give that area a little bit of love too, because it needs it.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. I think that's easy, right? It's easier, it's slippery, got some soap. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. And you don't need to necessarily then find the time to get it in either, because you're already doing it with, I mean, as a mom, I don't know how much we're spending lotioning our bodies and whatnot, but if you are,
well, if you can see how flaky my skin is,
you got some sun this weekend.
Yeah, awesome.